London, Ontario, there's a 9-year-old boy lying in a hospital bed. If he's awake, he may already know that his family will never be the same. Just before 8:40 on a tranquil Sunday evening, as his family went out for a walk together, they were struck down by a brutal act of terror. As a family went for a walk on a Sunday evening on a street in Canada. We grieve for the Muslim community in London and across the country because this is a pain they have known before. Because there's a 9-year-old boy lying in a hospital bed, we have to strive to learn and be better. The Canada of his future needs to be better than the Canada of Sunday evening. He deserves a Canada where his family can go for a walk on a tranquil Sunday evening. He deserves a Canada where he can go to a mosque and not worry about his safety. He deserves a Canada where Muslim women of faith can wear a hijab without fear of being accosted or harassed in public. Over the last year, we've become more separated from one another. Police services have warned of a dramatic increase in hate crime, violent extremism, Islamophobia, and other signs of intolerance from one part of our country to another. It feels like we're having conversations in grief and fighting intolerance more and more. And as hard as that is, it is important for us to shine light collectively to fight against the darkness. It's important that we measure the distance between the Canada that we have and the Canada that we want. But it's more important for us to not just recognize the distance between those Canadas, but to conquer the distance, Mr. Speaker. When we talk about a society where everyone is free to worship, to speak, and to go where they please, it's important to remember that there were 5 people in London who couldn't go for a walk. And someone else's hatred of their faith is the only reason why. The Canada we have is one where 4 of these people are never going home. The Canada we want is the one that we owe to that 9-year-old in a hospital bed. The Muslim community in Canada has known a lot of sorrow, and much of it is all too recent. In the hours since learning of this attack, I found myself thinking of my many Muslim friends and their young families, people I've known for decades, children that I've watched grow up. It frustrates and indeed terrifies me that they have to live with the fear that this could have been them on a walk with their children. Children who don't yet know or understand the hatred that far too often lives in this world. Freedom to worship can't exist without freedom from fear, and every Canadian has a right to that. That is a basic promise of this country. It's something that comes from just putting your feet on the ground here. It's felt like a bit of a false promise lately to Muslim Canadians. And a horrible attack like this shows us why. But this country has always said that it can do better, but today we must pledge that it will do better. Tonight, and today to my Muslim friends and to those grieving across the country, I'm reminded of the universal message contained in chapter 41 of the Quran. Quote, "Good and evil are not equal. Repel evil with good and be patient." End quote. While your faith asks you to be patient in the face of evil and adversity, our first duty as political leaders is to ensure the security of our citizens and to ensure that Canadians can be free to live, work, and pray as they wish. Your patience in the light of this horrific attack will transform our resolve to stand with you and fight against intolerance and evil. Tonight, as the people of London hold a vigil for the family lost to this horrific attack of terror, let us resolve to do more than just grieve. Many Canadians, including one 9-year-old lying in a London hospital bed, need us to do that more than ever. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.